Now, the Electoral Commission has rejected claims by the opposition National Democratic Congress that it is printing over 150,000 extra ballot papers in an attempt to rig the December elections. The Commission says it has had to review the numbers at some polling stations to be able to stick to the 5% requirement of extra ballots printed for contingencies. But at a news conference Sunday, the NDC accused the EC of deliberately keeping these details away from the parties in an attempt to rig the December elections. Manuel Coranting has more in the following report.
The Electoral Commission began the printing of the ballot papers ahead of the December election on October 26, 2020. Now, the main opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, is accusing the Electoral Commission of failing to present to it the ballot statistics for the printing exercise. Professor Joshua Alabi is National Campaign Coordinator of the party.
The Electoral Commission failed to provide the ballot statistics required for party agents to track the number of ballot papers to be printed for each polling stations before printing begins. Meanwhile, in all previous exercises, political parties were furnished with copies of the ballot statistics before printing began. The Electoral Commission rather directed the NDC to receive copies of the ballot statistics from the printing houses. From the ballot statistics received from the printing houses, as coming from the EC, we have analyzed the figure from 13 regions and observed that there is an excess of over 150,000 ballot papers being printed beyond the extra 5% required.
Deputy Director of Elections of the party, Daniel Amate Mensah, gives a breakdown of their findings.
Central region has 23 constituencies. The total figure, in addition to the 5% for Central region, is 45,750. Averagely 2,117 per constituency. In Bono East has 11 constituencies. The total excess is 47,000. Averagely 4,000 plus per constituency. The question is, if a constituency with a voter population of 24,000 have excess of 7,000, in percentage terms, we are talking about 27.5%. I mean, it is just unbelievable. And the question is, you can't say these ones are mistakes, because when you look at the figures, the percentage are not uniform. They are deliberately planned to rig the election ahead of the election itself. Over 150,000. And we believe that currently we are waiting for the ballot statistics for Ashanti region and Western region. And if you look at the spread, we know what we'll be getting from Ashanti region will be more than those that we have revealed to you.
Well, the Director of Elections of the party, Elvis Ifria Ankara, says that all attempts by the party to obtain ballot statistics from the Electoral Commission have proven futile.
If you've given the statistics to the printing houses, give it to us. What is so difficult? What is the problem? You've given it to the printing houses. Give us copies so that we can validate whatever goes on. That should tell you that this thing was planned. And as my deputy was saying, if you look at the statistics and the way that in specific constituencies you see specific numbers, it shows you a very clear agenda.
The party is therefore requesting an immediate explanation from the Electoral Commission as to the reasons for these extra ballot papers that are being printed.
Now we are aware of it. So we want the EC to come and explain to us how come that we have these numbers, and then we'll take it from.
Well, the EC has been responding. Acting Director of Public Affairs at the EC, Sylviano, says the disparity in the numbers is not an attempt to rig the polls. She spoke earlier on the AM show on the JoyNews channel.
We have our booklets in 100, 50, 25, and 10. So depending on each scenario, for example, if you have a polling station that has, for example, about 88, you need to add 5% because of the numbers involved. In hundreds, 50 cents, we need to strategize and make sure that some may go a little above it. But it doesn't mean because you don't have them in the specific numbers, you have them in 50s, hundreds, it becomes very difficult to stick to the exact number. But that doesn't also mean that we are increasing the ballot. So that has been the norm this time immemorial. The bottom line is what I want the general public to understand is the fact that the political parties are there to make sure that they observe the process, to make sure that they capture the numbers involved, and also at the end of the day, when the ballots are being casted to the various regions or the various destinations throughout the country, they are given the opportunity to affix their seal, with numbers. So the political parties are supposed to know the number of ballot papers that are going to the field at each from each printing house.
Okay, now the NDC say that before the printing, you refused to give them the serial numbers and the ballot statistics. You didn't provide them with the ballot statistics and the serial numbers.
They are supposed to get all that. Now, apart from that, if you understand the process, if you understand what happens at the polling station, no ballot paper from any source can enter any ballot box. If you understand, and they are there through and through, they are supposed to be at the printing house 24/7.
Okay, so can you address the issue again? Did you provide them with the ballot statistics and the serial numbers so they can effectively be doing their cross-checking?
That's the more reason why they are there, to observe and know what is happening at the various printing houses. They are there to observe what is happening, to know the intricacies of what is going where. So, at each point in time.
I take it that, unlike what the allegations that the NDC is making, you did provide them with the ballot statistics and the serial numbers.
What I mean to say is that the NDC is there, not only the NDC, but all the political parties are there.
Yes, that's we do.
I haven't heard anybody talk about the fact that we are doing something on.
So one other thing, have they officially written to the Electoral Commission, because they say something that they have done?
I was going to say that if the NDC has a genuine issue, they believe they have a genuine issue. I believe that